We have now spent 45 days travelling across China.
Oh my god!
A country we were very hesitant to even visit in the first place. Let's be honest, China isn't always portrayed in a positive light in the news and the media around the world.
China.
What is China really up to?
But since coming and experiencing the country for ourselves, we now feel like we have seen the true China.
So in this video, we're going to tell you our honest opinions of China, and we're going to talk all things accommodation, food, transport, the people, and if you stick around to the very end of this video, we're also going to tell you about our favourite locations and our standout moments from our time in China.
So before we get into this video, I want to give you a bit more context to some of the locations that we have been to in China. We started our first trip here in Shanghai, we then went to Chongqing, Chengdu, Xi'an, Beijing. We came back to China for a second time and started again in Beijing where we finished off. We then made our way to Hangzhou, Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, Guilin, Yangzhou. Then we went the whole way south to Shenzhen and then over to Guangzhou, and at the moment we are in our very last location, and today is actually our final day in China. Today we are actually in Zhuhai, right at the very south of the country, and very sadly today is our final day in China, for now anyway. But we think we'll be back very soon. Honestly, China has not been what we expected at all. It has blew all expectations. Wow. And I want to get this out there very early on in this video. If you're somebody watching this and you're debating on going to China, but maybe you're a wee bit apprehensive, you're a wee bit unsure because China feels so far away and so strange to somebody like myself and Aisling from the West or from Europe, don't worry about it. China is an incredible country. Everything from the people, the food, and all of the other things Aisling listed that we're going to talk about right now, you're honestly in for a shock. You're going to have a blast.
Let's start off by talking about the people. No matter what country you're travelling to, the people can either make or break your trip. And for me, I love to talk, I love to have those interactions with locals. And there's no denying there is a huge language barrier here in China, but thankfully it wasn't at all what I expected. I was kind of fearful that I was going to be coming to China for a significant period of time and only talking to Owen. Imagine. But thankfully, any opportunity that someone had to speak to us in English, they were straight over to us. We had so many different conversations with lovely, lovely people. And a lot of people speak broken English. They do. And anyone, even if it's through translate apps or whatever English they do have, we have had so many wholesome moments. And that isn't taken away from the fact that there is a language barrier, because there is, but it's definitely a lot more manageable. You will have some lovely, lovely experiences on the metro, in shops, buying street food, whatever it is. So if that's something that's holding you back, don't let it.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really have a great impression on Chinese people before coming to the country. I've had a few negative experiences with Chinese people in the past, whether it be at home in Ireland or during our travels, and it just always hasn't been a very positive situation. But the people here are so friendly. I was so wrong about them, and it goes to show you should not judge a book by its cover. You shouldn't judge a country by a handful of people and interactions and situations you've had. We've been welcomed with open arms. People have been helpful, they've been considerate, they've been kind, they've been caring and everything else. And honestly, the people have been part of what has made our trip so great. Now let's talk about transport and trying to figure out how you're going to navigate yourself around this massive country. A lot of people will probably choose to do internal flights to get around, but if you're anything like us and you want to save a wee bit of money, this probably isn't the best option. We personally have used trains to go pretty much anywhere on a long distance. Now, we've done all different types of trains. We've done the local trains, the high-speed trains, the bullet trains, the sleeper trains. We've done all different classes from standing to first class to second class seats. We've tried them all out, and honestly, they're all great. Some of them are obviously better than others. If you go for like lower class seat, it's going to be a wee bit more crammed. It's going to be a wee bit more local class, let's just say that. But it gets you there, it gets you from A to B, and we don't mind that at all. The trains here are a lot cheaper than flying, But a wee word of warning, they're also a lot more expensive than a lot of other Asian countries in like Southeast Asia, for example. But you will still save money. And another thing we love to do is if we're going on a really long distance journey, we'll do an overnight train. This way we can save money on accommodation, we can save a lot of time by not having to travel during the day as well. And honestly, it suits us perfect. We've used trip.com to book all of our trains because for us it's just really efficient and really easy. The only thing is, you need to make sure you are really planned and prepared. All of the trains here book up super quickly. So don't just land to the train station and try to book a ticket. Don't try and book a train the night before. Make sure you've got this prepared and planned like a week or 2 weeks in advance, especially if you're looking at a decent seat or a bed on the train. And let's talk about how we actually got around within cities in the country as well. We have used the metro so much, and the metro in China, in every single city that we have visited, has been fantastic. The metros go literally all the time. They're really easy to use as a foreigner and a tourist. Most of the signs are in English as well as in Mandarin and Cantonese around the country. They're really affordable and cheap. And normally people are quite friendly in terms of helping us kind of navigate through the metro stations, trying to buy our ticket and everything else in between. The only downside about the metro is they get so busy, especially around rush hour in the morning and the evening time. It is literally shoulder to shoulder with people, and the metro does take out the worst in a lot of people. People tend to push and shove going in and out of the doors, going up and down the escalators, but all the metros are manned with different security who's there to actually make sure the crowd control is okay. And honestly, this is by far the best way to get around the country or the local cities that you're in. We have tried a few taxis as well, which is something we don't normally do whenever we're traveling. However, taxis here in China are for nothing. They are so inexpensive. And to book taxis, we've used the Didi app, which has actually been super easy to operate and use as well. What we haven't tried out, however, is the local buses. We've been told that it's really difficult for a foreigner to try and use the local buses, so we just kind of avoided that, and we felt like we didn't actually need to use them either. But overall, transport in China, fantastic.
So, the next one we're going to talk about is the cost of travelling around China. This is a pretty big one. This is what's going to determine whether you can or cannot travel to a country. So we're going to break this one down into, well, transport we've already talked about. The next one is accommodation, food, spending money. So, let's talk about accommodation first. Accommodation is definitely a little bit more pricey than other parts of Asia, like Southeast Asia, for example. And the standard isn't always the best, but for us, we range anywhere from $12 a night at our cheapest accommodation, all the way up to $30 a night. Our most expensive one was in Beijing, and the room wasn't anything too special, but you were in the capital city after all. However, on the flip side of that, we're currently in Zhuhai, and we're paying $12 a night, and the room is really nice. So the price doesn't always reflect the room that you're gonna get, and the location definitely has a big factor to play. But something that we would recommend is that when you're booking your accommodation, make sure to check where your closest metro stop is. As Owen explained, the metro system here in China and across China is brilliant. So as long as you're beside a metro stop, you are good to go. Then moving on to your food.
Wow.
We like to eat local. We like to eat street food, and we like to go into restaurants that are filled up with local people. This is just a personal choice. It's not even that we want to save money, but it is definitely the more affordable option. And general meal for us consists of noodles, maybe rice, some meat, dumplings, depending on how hungry we are. And a meal like that for two people can range anywhere from $5 to $10. So this is extremely affordable. Obviously, there's a lot of high-end restaurants all around China, and if you want to go and check them out, you can. But for us, it's just not our scene. Then we move on to our general spending money. So this is things like attractions, going to the national park, and those do just vary depending on what you want to do. But, drum roll, our daily average spend here in China for two people is $80. $80 for two people. If you ask me, that's pretty good.
And whenever we're talking about the cost of things, something that might surprise you is that you don't need cash when you come to China. It's basically a cash-free country. Now, I know that sounds pretty wild and mad, but it's the truth. We have literally not spent a single penny in cash since coming on the second trip back to China. absolutely bonkers. But China uses a few different apps for payment systems. They use WeChat and Alipay mainly. So you can download these apps as a foreigner. It's no issue, really easy to use. And you get a QR code that you can then use to pay for things, or you can scan other QR codes in shops, restaurants, literally everywhere. Like people on the street use their QR code. We've seen people busking, they have a QR code. It's literally the way to go, and it's so convenient. We wanted to also touch quickly on the weather and the time of year to come to China. Our first trip here was in April and the weather was very comfortable. We had trousers and a light jacket on us and it was nice, and we are chilly. This time we started our trip during the peak summer season. The temperature was crazy. It was like 35, 36 degrees Celsius a lot of the time. We were always searching for aircon. We were soaking through our t-shirts, sweating, and the crowd was mental in any attraction or anywhere we wanted to go. Anything we wanted to see, we had a queue for ages. So I think the summertime probably isn't the best time to come in our opinion. I would definitely say April was a beautiful time to come to the country. I would say even slightly after that, closer to the May, would be even nicer again. But do a bit of your own research, decide what best suits you. I know coming into like the Christmas season, into December and January, China gets very cold. Temperatures in Beijing drop to like 0 degrees, there'd be snow, and it doesn't be very nice. I also wanted to talk about some of our favourite locations in the country, and I think I have to start off with our ultimate favourite and the number one in our opinion, which is Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. This is known also as like the Avatar Mountains. It's the area that inspired the Avatar movies for the Hallelujah Mountains. It's incredible. The area honestly is like something out of a movie. It's like just next level magical, an insane landscape, unbelievable scenery, and this is definitely a must visit and cannot miss location on a trip to China. But in terms of some of the cities, Chongqing is our favourite city. It's just so cool. Known as the cyberpunk city, it has so much to offer. It's just a really modern, futuristic, like epic metropolis. It's amazing. We had a fantastic time there, and the food there, also incredible. But bringing it back to other cities, we thoroughly enjoyed Hangzhou as well. It's a lovely mix of nature with the West Lake, and also a really beautiful modern city. And then weirdly enough, we really loved Shenzhen, down in the very south of the country. This is much more what we expected of a big major Chinese city. It was very tech savvy, it was really kind of modern with a lot of old ancient areas as well. And this is, as I said, what we expected Chinese cities to kind of be like. In saying all of this, we loved everywhere. There's not one single location that we have visited during our entire time in China that we wouldn't return to. All of them, honestly, were fantastic. All slightly different, slightly quirky in their own way. The people were slightly different, the food was slightly different. But again, honestly, all of them, really good locations. So we're going to finish out by talking about some of our standout key moments during our entire time spent in China, because there's so many, it's hard to narrow them down, but like there's a few that just stand out a little more than the rest. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think I'm going to start off with the very first day here in China, in Shanghai. Honestly, as I've said, I came to China with a bit of a closed mind. A bit. And that first day completely opened up everything. I was so excited about everything that we had up in front of us.
It blew us away. Honestly, the whole day just took us back. We couldn't believe what we were seeing, what we were witnessing. It just was a complete shock to the system, and I think that's why it stands out so much. I think another thing for me that stands out was the day we were in Xi'an. We tried renting bicycles in Xi'an to go and cycle around the city, around the wall. Couldn't figure out for the life of us how to actually rent the bikes.
We spent so long trying to get these bikes.
So long, and then eventually this lovely guy and lady came over to us who spoke literally no English and tried like helping us to get the bike. They couldn't figure it out either. I think the issue was we needed a Chinese mobile number to actually get it in the end. But a long story short, this lovely guy ended up renting the 2 bicycles for us.
2 of them.
They paid for it for us, and like they refused to let us like send them any money. They were like, no, like they translated to us, and then they were like, look, you take them, we'll pay, we would like to do this for you.
He was like, just enjoy your time,
yeah.
Like have a good time while you're in Xi'an. And we were just like, what? Like the kindness, like he did not have to do that at all.
That definitely was a standout moment by far.
And for me, I think my ultimate memory has to be seeing the giant pandas.
Wow, like I'm both speechless.
Honestly, like that was just like in itself such an experience. We've seen so many
Incredible.
pandas, we've seen baby pandas, we've seen big pandas, we've seen families of pandas.
They were the cutest thing, honestly, like, and I know Aisling said that's her favourite moment. It's definitely up there with one of my like top maybe 3 moments as well. Maybe not even just in China, maybe just over this past couple of years travelling. It was incredible. Like, in terms of wildlife, what an experience that was. And what a lovely way to kind of like finish out this video, I think, on such a positive note. On our trip here in China, our honest opinion, we love the country,
if
man.
you couldn't guess that already, like, we absolutely love China.
It's flipping wicked. And I can tell you something right now, this will not be our last time here in China.
And I just wanted to take a really quick moment to say thank you to everybody that has been following along for this Chinese series. We have had an absolute blast, and we have loved making all the connections with all of our new Chinese subscribers and subscribers from all around the world. So if you are not one of those subscribers, hit that button down there and join us! Join us!